We live, Holmes.
Live.
Got a good start today. Oh yeah. Nice. Ooh. Oh yeah. Hey. Hi, Travis. Welcome to episode 16. I think, right? 16. Yeah. 16. That's pretty good. It's halfway to. It's more than halfway to 30. I like that. Christian got a haircut.
Like a bum.
Dang.
Handsome, man.
You looked homeless.
I did.
I always feel homeless if I don't give it a haircut too. Like, or if my beard grows.
Yeah.
Like
you
this.
got one too, huh?
Yeah. Today.
Oh,
I cut
snap.
myself.
No.
Yeah. For sure.
Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
That took a lot of patience.
Nah, it does not really.
No.
I'm pretty
You
patient with
ran through or
The
it
top
took
two,
like-
bro?
with the meticulous stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
okay, that's good.
Did you fade yourself?
I always do.
That's impressive.
Look at
Yeah.
this. I got the little. Look at
I like
my
that.
little Ricky Ricardo going.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very symmetrical.
Well, I mean, even though my head isn't, but it's all
No,
good.
that's what's impressive. To cut your hair so that way it looks symmetrical.
Yeah. My dad always used to make fun of my head
Really?
shape. Yeah. I was like, yeah, fool, you guys laid me on my back when I was like for 8 years straight.
Okay, I got a question. In your culture, is it an actual thing that like the mom shape the baby's head?
I heard that. I never.
What?
I never
No,
did
that's
This is something we do.
okay. So our culture.
After I had kids, I heard that.
Yeah.
So
But
okay,
before, it's never happened.
I don't have kids, but so you may
Yeah.
have heard,
I've heard.
Christian more wives' tales than anybody.
Exactly.
Wise tales.
Not wives, wives,
Oh, wives.
wives.
Tales. Wives.
Yeah, two Utes.
Wench's tails.
Wench's tales. There you go.
You.
We're not really cultured in like that, to be honest with you. We're like, I don't want to say whitewashed because we're definitely not whitewashed. We're just not part of the like Paisa community.
I got you.
I'm just a proud American, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'll
But
put
no,
my
I
hair-
think
put my
it's
hand
a
like that.
actual thing. Like my mom used to say it
No,
all
it-
the
yeah.
time when I was younger, and then like I didn't really believe it, and then I heard it a couple other times. I was like, damn, this may be a thing.
It is. I've heard that a couple times, and I heard it again with not the newborn, but my 2-year-old now.
Yeah.
No, it's just don't lay them on it.
But it's only when they're younger, like when they're
Exactly. You got like a
literally when
certain
it's
time frame
moldable.
to do it.
You know,
Yeah.
she said she used to kind of like, it's kind of
Do it.
not hard.
They have those helmets. You really do? That's weird. With your
Yeah.
hands?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it's like
you
a-
shape. You just kind of gently, because babies' heads are like mush. Like there's no skull developed.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
It's really
And then
it's like a
it's an actual thing.
it's
Wow.
like a
Yeah.
2 liter when it's open.
I've never heard of that, and that's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
It is.
I know
scary.
they always. My mom used to say about Christian, like, be careful his soft spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, and you
Yeah,
felt those
this
things,
is-
right?
And I would go like this with my son, like that, real hard. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Hell no. I used to take care of this little fool, man. I like this guy. He was a cool little
Cool
kid.
baby,
Yeah.
Thumb in there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nah, that's messed up.
Dude, I saw a newborn baby today. I think 1 month old.
Yeah.
We saw her for the first time.
Oh,
For real?
fresh.
Little Tilly.
What's the name? COVID.
Tilly.
Oh.
No, Tilly. Yeah. It was,
Welcome, Tilly.
Yeah.
Jeez, got a long road ahead of him.
Yeah, it's
Wrong time to be born.
as soon as you hold the newborn, it takes you back to that like super protective stage.
Oh,
You
damn.
instantly start thinking, "Can she breathe? Is her neck good?" You know, it's kind of crazy.
I'm paranoid about that stuff, dude.
I brought some. Today's Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And
Independence Day.
I brought some Mexican whiskey.
Mexican whiskey.
Yeah, it's called Proper 12. It's
Is it?
actually Conor McGregor's
What?
whiskey, so it's like the
Can't
furthest thing
stand that
from
guy.
Irish. Well, ooh, let me smell this.
Smell it. Let me
good.
get clear my.
Does it smell
good.
like cheating in the UFC?
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
I'm just saying.
Controversial.
I'm just saying.
shit. Right there.
Nice, bro.
Yeah,
What do you got
just
to?
pour it up.
This is the first pour.
Oh, just
Cool.
whiskey and cokers and.
Yeah, we got
yeah.
Coke because we had Coke. What did we have last week? We had
Diet Coke.
No.
ginger ale.
yeah.
Who brought ginger ale? Candace brought ginger
I
ale.
brought
Henny
two
and Coke.
things. She brought some ginger ale too. Dude, I don't remember last week, honestly.
Man,
Really?
I got properly faded.
My
For real?
tolerance is
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah.
I haven't been drinking much. Only here.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it the next morning. Like, oh,
Yeah, that's
dude,
true. Me
that's
too.
Something I don't want to feel.
Let me see what we got here.
First 2 weeks of the
Quarant-
stay in place.
Thank you.
Shelter in place was
Quarantine because
she was
nobody's
like,
sick
you want a
here.
shot? Yes. You want a shot? Yes. You want to take a shot? Yes.
I
You
should
know what I
take
mean?
some of
But
this.
now it's like, you want a shot? No. Please,
Oh, man,
no shot.
It's too much.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, protect your liver.
It's gonna be like, hey man, pour me. Can you make this stronger at the bar when it's time to go back? And be like, why? Because I drink a bottle a day. And shelter in place.
Literally.
Let me see what's up with this.
Is it
Oh, that's
proper?
good. Yeah, that's good.
Nice.
No, this actually tastes good, just like this. I like those
Thanks,
bubbles in
Trev.
it. This is some Perrier sparkling water.
Big Perrier guy.
No?
No, I said I'm a big
Oh,
Perrier.
okay,
I love
cool.
Perrier.
Yeah, that's like one of my
I don't
favorites.
care how people.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah,
stuff. Good
well,
stuff. What do you got right there? Kombucha or something?
Yeah, with all the snacks and stuff that I'm eating, I need to keep the gut moving. So I'm doing this and a little apple cider vinegar.
Have you been exercising at all?
Off and on. So I started really, really strong, and then I burnt out for like a day or two. But now I'm like back at it. But no, I mean it's still not combating. Oh, thank you. It's still not combating the amount of junk food and shit that I'm eating. So it doesn't even like I'm working out just to maintain not looking like a Twinkie,
Yeah.
basically. But
Interesting.
You do the
no.
actual like shot of apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, so I do like a shot of apple cider vinegar. I'll mix it with some kind of juice.
That's
Take
nasty.
a shot.
What about the pills? You don't take? I take the pills every day
I haven't bought the pills yet.
Apple cider
but I
pills?
might do
because
that.
I hate
Yeah.
the taste.
Oh, it's disgusting. But if you mix it with like some Simply lemonade, and you could take it, then take another shot of lemonade behind it. It's pretty cool.
I got these gummies and I rotated to these pills.
Does the gummy smell?
No, bro,
No?
they're actually like fruit snacks, dude.
Really?
Can't even taste, can't even tell.
Oh, what kind?
Goalies.
Goalies.
Yeah, dude, they're
Goalies.
bomb.
With the white cap.
Yes, red and
Yeah.
white, I believe. White cap, hey.
White
Hey.
What is it? What
Yeah.
is it though?
Apple cider
Apple
vinegar.
cider.
Oh.
It's like it helps with your digestion
Uh-huh.
and weight loss. And
Uh-huh.
I take one shot before bed and once in the morning when I wake
Yeah.
up. Just so I don't know. It just makes me feel.
What are the
not so
benefits
bloated.
supposed to be?
Appetize,
yeah.
my
Suppress
exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like to
can tell.
eat though.
I know, dude, but
I don't feel right if I don't eat.
Yeah.
I hear you.
You already know.
Yeah,
Christian
dude.
knows. I gotta eat something.
Well, cheers.
Yeah, I feel
Otherwise,
like,
I
cheers.
get cranky. Cheers.
This guy's the crankiest ever. If he doesn't eat.
Yeah, I used to be really bad. I think I've curbed it. Maybe I just have more access to food these days.
Yeah.
It's
What?
delicious. So I just walked into the store with no mask, right?
Rebel.
And everyone looks at me like I got AIDS and shit.
You're the
Yeah.
freak.
Yeah, like I'm the freak. That's all good. Don't trip.
Yeah.
I saw you were in there with the mask.
I was.
I think you just feel liberated because you're like, damn, I couldn't wear
like
wear
wearing
this a year ago,
bandana.
just like this.
I know, right? I
Oh,
like being able to
exactly.
walk into a well-established place with a bandana
Mm-hmm.
over my face
Yeah.
and not be looked at crazy. Like that's just a
I went in the
trip in
bank like
itself.
that.
Did you? Is that how it goes? I haven't been in the bank.
I even had
For real?
I had my thing with a skull on it, that one,
Yeah.
and my sunglasses and my hat and my hood.
No,
Dang.
that's
Yeah.
that feels good.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I
Before,
was
it's
like-
take your glasses off, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't
Can
even
you
wear
take your glasses
And
down real quick?
and the other thing was too, I think the only times I've gone to the store like on a whim is like if I needed some liquor
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
beer. Like, fuck, man, I gotta go. Let me just go in here super quick. And then you got your sunglasses on. Or I always wear my sunglasses anyways. But like they're like, you have your ID, and I just look at them like, come on, really? Like you gonna tell me to take all this shit off?
Yeah,
I don't fucking think so.
exactly.
So, anyways,
That's what's up. That's pretty gangster, dude.
yeah, but
Bank? I don't know. Even I would have like felt a little nervous at the bank.
Was everyone else doing it in there? Or
Yeah.
Everyone, yeah.
yeah. But I was like, I just need to make a deposit.
Okay, sure.
I just
Come
need
on
to
in.
take some money out.
Yeah, that was like the most pussy thing you could do with a mask and sunglasses in a bank. I'd like to make a
Donation.
deposit. Yeah, I'd like to give you my money,
Do
please.
you own a wing now?
Yeah.
The bank.
Speed it up. Put it in.
Hey, what's some crazy shit you guys heard this week? I heard so much stuff this week. I mean,
Are a lot of repetitive.
Kim Jong Un being alive and it being all staged.
Rumors. Yeah, Kim.
What? You got me.
let's see. Tom Cruise gonna film a movie.
What's-
in,
oh yeah,
space.
yeah. Oh, this fool. He's
In
always
space?
yeah. He's always doing some Tom Cruise shit.
Oh,
Yeah, he really
nice.
thinks he's somebody. He really thinks he's a
Oh,
god.
He's
Yeah.
what were they called?
I don't know.
Scientologist.
Yeah, I know, but
They,
what is
they
it?
got
Really?
they got the
Yeah.
money.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom
Why was I
Cruise.
thinking Tom Hanks? I don't know.
Yeah, that fool too.
Oh yeah,
Tom
that guy
Cruise
too.
is
We
going
talked
to
about it.
space?
That fool's on one too.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I just
I mean,
Yeah.
like, he's been everywhere on the planet.
Who?
Tom Cruise.
oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, there's nowhere he can go where he's like safe.
yeah.
Like, he can
That's
go
why he's going to
anywhere.
space.
Yeah, he's like, damn, maybe I can get away from my fans.
But I try to tune out at some
Mhm.
point because it's just
Yeah.
overwhelming information and a lot of assumptions. And we talked about this before.
Mhm.
It's just too much sometimes.
It's it takes up too much of that that memory space in your head.
Mm-hmm.
That real estate in your
Yeah,
head.
capacity.
Yeah,
can
I want
definitely
to. I
go
want to
down.
save it for something different, like after the stay-at-home thing. You know.
What about you?
I'm thinking right now, and like, I felt like this week I purposely stayed away from digging deep into the stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get to the point where I'm like, damn, maybe I should focus a little more on like family or work or whatever. So I felt like this week work was crazy busy, family was crazy busy,
Yeah.
and I have this idea that they're gonna try to open back up again. But the craziest thing, to answer your question that I've read, is that the Spanish flu, the most deadly wave, was the second wave.
That's racist, by the way.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Spanish flu.
So I already know
It is
what I already
kinda
know the
racist.
deal with this shit already.
Yeah.
It's-
we talked
What
about
have you?
that before.
What have you
too.
heard? What's going on?
No, so I'm gonna tell you two things. So I picked up a new hobby like in the past week. So
Oh shit.
on Facebook, there's like all these groups. Like
Oh, yeah,
what's
dude.
going on in Riverside County? What's going on
Oh, I
in
love
Los
those
Angeles
things,
County?
yeah.
What's going on in West Hollywood?
Yeah.
Setting people straight.
No,
No,
hell
they're
no.
like
No,
police
hell no.
websites
I
or
just, dude,
something, yeah.
those groups are so cancer, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Seriously.
seen a couple or one today of you.
You learn about stuff you did not.
And,
wanna know.
and I don't want to say that I go in there and troll, but I go in there and like
Oh.
I say, hey, well, what about this? And then like nobody will answer, and nobody will answer, and then
Yeah.
I'll say something else, and nobody will answer. It's like
No.
because I just lay it down, like, hey, well, think about it. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not being
Can they
argumentative.
mute your comments?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm
block
surprised.
them.
I probably
Oh.
got kicked out of
Yeah.
a couple groups already, but that's my new hobby
That's
this week.
fun, huh, bro? I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. And I just like, hey, well, I think the one today was like, hey, why we shouldn't open small business. You know, where everybody's safe the way they are. I said, well, you guys are walking into Costco and Walmart.
Yeah.
You know, I said, what makes
the difference?
I said what makes the walls at Costco less? How come no germs can
It's a
penetrate there?
warehouse, bro. It's science.
Yeah, yeah. I said, well, why can't you wear masks everywhere? Like, open the small business up.
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah.
silence in there,
Mm.
like fucking radio silence.
Interesting.
See, everyone just thinks that whatever they tell you, I mean, it's
Mhm.
what you got to do. But I mean, hey, maybe in the future,
Yeah.
your social credit will depend on it,
Yeah.
just like in China.
2022.
Have you been out and about? I asked because I got out for the first time, really out
What?
golfing.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Mm.
Nice. Nice.
Hold on, we're gonna go out. But the Kim Jong-un thing, real quick.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
That fool's dead, bro. Didn't you see
Is
there was posts of him looking
Oh.
different,
Oh, like he's dead. And
like
he's,
it's a like an
embalmment.
impersonator.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Because they
Damn.
showed like his ears, like it's like ones like that, like flipped out a little
Oh,
bit.
like a
his teeth
digital
are his
enhancement?
teeth are like a little different.
Yeah.
Like his nose, his nostrils are a little different.
real?
Yeah,
I didn't even see that.
yeah, yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
They could get away with it because,
Wow.
Yeah,
Timing.
exactly. They're not gonna tell him nothing.
Yeah.
well, I mean, they all look similar.
Wow, damn. Ooh, shit. No, I know. I mean, they all eat noodles.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
That's what something
I
you can say.
love
That's not
Fact
racist.
check that if they look
Uh-huh.
alike, guys, for me.
And if they all eat noodles,
Yeah.
please.
Oh,
Well, I think Russia tried to. He's a clever guy. He gave him an award. You hear that?
No.
He
Who
gave
gave
us
him-
some Putin.
For
Yeah,
real?
he
Yeah.
gave him
To
an
see if he was
award.
alive?
Yeah. I swear to God, bro. I swear I heard
that's
this.
a troll
I was like,
move
I
right
man,
love
there.
that's
that fool.
really smart. You know what I mean? He gave us some kind of like ridiculous award. You know?
That fool's on some really fascist shit, but that fool's a
He's
big
like,
ass
oh,
troll.
let's give him an award. See if he'll pick it up.
That's
you know?
funny.
No,
dude.
that's good of him
That's
because,
funny.
like, if he isn't, then he knows that he did well by him
That's
giving
funny.
him an award instead of
telling you.
trashing him like everyone else. you
Yeah.
know?
As soon as you
That's
see
great.
movement from the Russians to North Korea, you know that fool is dead.
He needed. He wants. Yeah, that's good protection play there for
He's
him.
gonna take over that
I
whole
like that.
country.
That is.
Guaranteed.
Who is? Kim.
Putin. He's
Yeah.
gonna take over
Oh yeah,
all
he's
of
gonna.
North Korea.
That fool's gonna invade everywhere.
Yeah.
Mark my words. You heard it here first. I read Masterminds episode 16. That fool's gonna bomb Russia. I mean, bomb Israel.
Yeah.
You know.
He's already.
I'm
already proxy doing it right now.
just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christian, you were saying you got out of the house
Yeah,
for
you
the
gotta-
first time
Yeah, I got out.
in how many
golfing.
days? About
She's really out like that.
like
dude?
out. Like you went somewhere and you parked the car.
You weren't wearing sandals.
Oh man.
Yeah,
dude.
like no
It's
slides.
sweatpants.
Feet hurt the next day because of my shoes. I need
Tennis
another
feet,
pair
bro.
of glides again.
Dang,
like-
you just bought a pair.
That's what I'm saying. It's been like a month and
Oh
a
my
half or a
God,
month
yeah.
since I put them on my feet.
Those hurt if I wear them too long.
Yeah.
Like my
Oh,
feet hurt.
really?
I had to put shoes on.
Yeah, I went out. It was fun, dude.
You
It
went
was-
golfing?
It was like normal almost, you know?
Really?
I mean, by law
Golf is
or
such
whatever,
a
they open it back
naturally
up.
distant sport.
Yeah,
Who'd you-
exactly,
who'd
exactly.
you roll with?
What city was it?
Riverside.
Mm,
Took my little boy, my 6-year-old.
nice.
I did
and,
see that video. It was tight. He
yeah,
was hitting the
he's-
ball like a little Tiger Woods,
He's
y'all.
a natural. That was his first time, dude.
Seriously?
Yeah, that was his first
Wow.
time. He played
No way.
miniature golf.
Wow. No, but he was
But,
he hit
dude,
he
he
hit off the
blasted
tee
the
with a
ball.
driver,
Yeah, dude. It was
and it
like,
went at least 50 yards.
Dude, that,
Right?
that's impressive.
at least, yeah,
That's impressive.
at least 50 yards.
Uh.
Straight up. He kept doing it. It took him
Yeah.
2-3 tries. At fourth, he was good,
Mhm.
and then we kept it rolling.
That's
So
tight.
I just taught
That's
him all
funny.
the little, tips and tricks as much as I could, because I'm no master golfer, but taught him etiquette, what we do, get ready with your ball and your what's it called? Put it in your pin.
Club?
Not your pin.
Oh, the
your, tee. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Is it
Have
good
your
tee?
club,
Yeah,
club,
nice.
tee, and ball ready.
okay.
Pop up so you know you're next, and just
Nice.
little things like
Trav,
that.
how you didn't even know what a tee is? You want to beat me in long drive, bro?
I think I don't know. I feel like I could just visualize beating you, and that's enough. That's it.
like the same thing that happened at Dodger Stadium, right?
What happened at
What
Dodger
happened?
Stadium?
Remember? Didn't you go for a home
I
run
hit-
contest?
I hit a
Oh,
home run.
no,
you
you
did
did.
not hit a
I
home
hit
run.
the wall, bro.
Okay, now you're back.
That's a home run.
That's not a home run.
Okay,
That-
I
you'll be
remember
lucky
you
to have
got
a
20
double of that.
pitches, and I hit the back of the wall.
If you hit the back of the wall
Yeah.
in a major league game, you'll be lucky.
Wait a minute, no, this wasn't with you guys.
No,
This
no, I
was
know.
at
No,
the
we know.
Chevy event.
No, you
Yeah.
told us.
Yeah, no, I hit the back of the wall for sure.
The one
it
behind
bounce?
you, the catcher one, the
Did
one
it
that.
bounce 1 or 2 times?
No, it hit the back of the wall,
Uh-huh.
rolled a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but I know I hit the wall.
Interesting.
Wait, did it
What
Interesting.
is
bounce?
going on?
Interesting.
No, it hit the wall.
What kind
It
of
hit
bat
the
were you
wall.
using?
I
Aluminum
don't
or
even know. Whatever.
Was it
Whatever
wood?
they had.
It was probably a
Yeah.
wood bat. He's
Dude,
just good.
what's funny? No. You know what's funny? I have not even thought about that memory until you brought it up.
I always remember it.
That was. Like
I don't know
back
why,
in
and I wasn't even there.
Where did you
07 or
go? You
something.
went to? You won a contest or something?
So I worked for Upland Chevrolet. This
Upland,
is
huh?
Upland
Yeah.
Chevrolet, right down the street from Rancho, and I remember that we had won like 1 month. So what you do is you get once your team is successful, you get a chance to go down and I don't even remember what the event was. It was like a Chevy event, and we were all batting and
That's
pitching
cool.
with somebody. They were just throwing easy lobs and boom.
That's dope.
Yeah, he had the little box with the little thing missing.
Little
so he could
screen.
throw over it.
It's called
L
an
screen.
It's called an L screen.
And I remember telling you guys that you guys been like,
No, I
yeah,
remember.
sure,
No,
whatever.
we're just jealous
I
as fuck.
hit the
Yeah.
wall.
But
Like,
no,
I
I
for
don't-
sure
I-
hit the wall.
More
don't be-
jealousy than
Yeah.
anything.
I don't
dude.
believe it for 1 minute though.
I'm just saying. Sometimes I shock myself.
So what's the wager on the long drive?
Yeah, you gotta-
Hey, put it up. I'm
dude,
at you.
I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah.
Is it just between you and him?
I don't know.
Because dude, I was killing it, dude.
Okay.
I'm telling you, yeah, dude. I haven't been golf like in
Of
6
course,
months.
I'm going to need like a little.
Well, you can go
No,
practice
no,
now.
no.
You can go
Yeah,
practice.
like of
Yeah,
course
go,
I'm gonna
go.
like go to.
You
the,
have a minimum of a week
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah,
As of now, you know
okay.
what I mean?
I'm gonna go to. You know what? Put your money up, bro.
Yeah,
Put your
dude.
money
I'm
up.
telling you, I came
How
back to
much?
the house. I was like, "Yo,
How we
Regina,
measure
I
the
did good."
distance
man.
of the ball?
We'll just go see where it lands.
Yeah, you just
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking driving range. I'm thinking right now. I'm not walking out there to go.
No,
see
we'll
where it goes.
do it on a hole.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, dude. I thought, man, I was
I
kind of
like
proud of
that.
myself.
Good luck to you, man. I really wish you
Hey.
good luck.
You know what's funny? Normally, a normal person would be sitting across from you and be like, "Damn, this guy's supremely confident right now." But I'm like, extremely confident, and I have no idea
That's
what I'm
good.
doing.
Let's make a wager right now
I'm
because
down.
I want in this
I'm down.
because I know I don't want to lose.
All right, we'll do me and him first, and then we'll do best of 3.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be beat on my first run with the.
So you guys need practice.
I don't even.
I
in
just
order to-
need an hour of
No.
hitting balls, just so I
An
can get my
hour.
mechanics
Oh,
right.
perfect.
Yeah.
You're gonna be wore out by the time we get on that course.
No, I can do it.
And the ball has to be visible on the course.
Yeah,
it
it's
can't be
good,
like
yeah.
shanked right.
Done.
It's got to be in
You
the
know what I mean?
fairway.
Done. Now, are we going one ball? You get one hit, one ball. What?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Long drive.
All right, let's
Long
roll.
drive. Unless you want to do
Yeah.
2 out of 3.
I mean, I'm thinking that like you play all the time.
Mhm.
So if I like slice it right once or twice, you got to get my best ball that goes straight.
You got to
So
get
I'm
your
thinking,
best ball out of 3.
yeah, best ball
That's
out
fair.
of 3 would
That's
be fair.
Best ball
Because if
out
I
of 3.
slice it, that's probably going to happen.
Okay,
Like
cool.
I don't golf all the time.
I'm in.
Yeah. All right. Let's
I
go.
still slice it.
$100.
100?
Okay.
$100.
I'm confident. I'll do.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All right.
So-
let's
Yeah,
go.
I'll do that for sure.
Okay.
dude.
Okay. So
Yeah.
who?
No, not with you. Me and
Oh,
him.
wow.
We'll just do a competition with us 3 to see who goes far.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'm in.
All right. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you've played before doesn't mean you're gonna beat someone.
It
that
doesn't mean
doesn't play.
you know I won the long drive right at Lakeside Country Club.
You beat the women though.
That's true.
It's different. Their mechanics, their hips are a little different. you
Oh,
know?
how so? How so?
Well, the way it works is about 4 centimeters on the right hand side.
Uh-huh.
It's elongated,
Mm.
so that way they can push and separate like snakes when their jaws attach when they have
Mhm.
birth.
That's called a vulva, Travis.
A vulva. A vulva. I have no idea what I'm talking
Oh,
about. right
go ask
now.
your wife.
I don't
Go
know.
ask your-
We don't
wife.
talk about those things. Anything that has to do with childbirth, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I was there. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I helped.
For real, I pulled him out.
Oh, did you?
No,
Oh,
I did
Jesus.
not.
That sucks.
Obviously, I didn't pull out.
Yeah, that shit's scary. That shit is scary.
So okay, so I'm in.
All right, let's go.
I'm down.
$100.
Okay, cool.
Down.
Good luck.
It's-
Just cash at me because I'm not
Yeah.
carrying cash these days.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Same thing. I prefer Venmo actually. Cash App reminds me of I don't know. Just seems not as reliable as
Cash
Venmo.
App?
Yeah.
Really?
I love cash app.
Venmo takes like a couple days for the money to actually leave my account.
Yeah.
Cash
Unless,
Oh,
App is
word?
instant. Yeah.
unless I
didn't
use
know
the,
that. I never
the
removed
Venmo
the
card.
Bro, all the cash that's ever hit my Venmo account is still in there.
So like I carry the Venmo
that's-
card.
Yeah.
I carry the Cash App card.
I have the Venmo card.
Carry my
yeah.
Chase card. Carry my credit card.
So it's instant,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never knew that.
But some
But
cards,
just send
some
it to
cards
your
got like $20. Other cards got $100. Other ones got $500.
Scattered
Another one,
money.
yeah.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Hiding it from the government.
This is see. That's a diversify. That's the black
Mhm.
black market diversify right there.
Now
Mhm.
you can have your Cash App card, your Venmo card has a checking routing number.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I like that.
I thought I was getting scammed at work because someone provided a checking and routing that was linked to a Cash App. And
They
sure
had to
enough,
prepare for.
It's actually
stimulus.
through
sure enough, it was a scam.
It's actually through a bank
Yeah.
though. It's Sutton Bank.
Oh shit!
Yeah, FYI.
Yeah, there's a bank behind it, huh? Yeah,
Sutton
that's
Bank.
right.
Nice. Sutton.
Sutton,
Sutton.
like Don Sutton.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
How is he by the way?
He's dead.
Oh,
Don
fuck.
Sutton's dead.
No, I don't know.
Did he die?
I always say that. But speaking of
Don Sutton.
speaking of all this shit like
Yeah.
misinformation,
Okay.
I got some stuff. I pulled up some stuff for you guys today.
What?
Okay.
So
Bring
we've
it
been
down.
talking about this shit for a while. So
Alright,
look at
alright.
this. Don't look at my notes here because
Okay.
there's some of the
You
some of
legit
the
have notes.
some of the key answers
See,
are
I
in here.
feel so unprepared.
No, don't worry. This is for this. I did this for you guys.
No, break it down.
I did it for us actually.
Bust it open.
So let's see. So there's we live in like the
Hell.
age of misinformation.
Yeah.
What else would you call that? Like
First information,
But it's like
misinformation.
purposeful misinformation. You know what I mean?
Rumors.
Yeah.
yeah, rumors.
It's like telephone.
Yeah. Oh, don't look at
Mm.
that shit, dude.
Huh?
Don't look right there. But so anyway, we've been
Yeah.
talking about the Mandela effect.
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
We haven't got into it.
We haven't.
We have
today.
not.
Let's get into it a little
But
bit.
I love the idea of it.
So there's
Yeah.
there's like a few things. What do you know about like the Mandela effect? Either one of you.
So I'll break
Oh,
it
sorry,
down
Chad.
scientifically.
Okay.
Okay. So I heard that the Mandela effect was started from the original turning on of the CERN project, the underground hydrogen collider. So yeah. So anyways, it started with that. So what happens is when they turned that on, our planet shifted a fraction. No, I'm dead serious.
Wow,
yo.
that deep?
It's very deep.
What?
So our
What?
planet shifted a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So because our planet shifted a bit, they relate it to the idea of like the visual representation of infinity. Right.
Okay.
So they said to visualize infinity,
Yeah.
you just draw a line and keep going and keep going and keep
Yeah.
going. They said that parallel dimensions are like each one of those lines in infinity.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they relate it to that is because if you shift even a little bit
Yeah.
into another like dimension,
Yeah.
like everything on the planet could change except for 6 doesn't hook over as small.
Really?
You feel me?
That's pretty deep.
Or red is a shade off in that next dimension. But if you spread it out a couple lines
Yeah.
on that line of infinity,
Yeah.
things could change like a certain spelling of a name of a book. Or things could change like a certain actor that you remember playing a role but
Mhm.
Yeah.
didn't play that role
Like how
because of that.
Like
shift.
Sinbad / Shaq.
Exactly. So that's the way it was explained to me on what actually happened and why the
Interesting.
Mandela effect is
Interesting.
even
Where do you think
so-
it came from, Christian? What is your
I
idea?
don't know where it came from, but
Yeah.
I just, as I got older, I'm like, oh, dang, something's going on.
Mhm.
So what's an example of something that you know that's Mandela
Well, we'll bring
effect?
that for example for me
Yeah.
because we talked about it on here.
Go ahead.
With the Sinbad,
Go ahead.
So
Kazam,
the
right?
most significant one, the Sinbad one for sure.
Okay,
but
so
I'll
explain
leave
it to me so I can.
Okay, so I vividly remember a movie that I watched when I was younger
Yeah.
about Sinbad being
Uh-huh.
a genie.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember all the details, but the more stuff that I see online, I'm like, damn, I remember that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I visually remember Sinbad playing a funny ass genie
Yeah.
to 2 white kids. You know what I mean? Like I
Okay.
don't remember all the details of the movie, but
Yeah.
like that's in my brain before everything else.
Mm.
And then there's a couple other ones that like the Berenstain Bears.
Uh-huh.
That one kind of throws me
Oh,
off
yeah.
because I'm dyslexic. So E's and A's in every word spelling
It's
is
just
flipped
something
to me.
quick, yeah.
So that could be just like the dyslexic part
As a
of
kid,
me.
you're not studying
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
spelling.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
seeing
But
a logo.
just Nelson Mandela himself,
Yeah.
with the reason behind the name, I am one of those people that could have sworn he died in prison, or they had like some huge celebration for his life or something. But now he was alive apparently.
Okay, let's
Wait,
talk.
alive for what?
So I
No.
remember Nelson Mandela being
He died
announced
after.
dead, but he died in like 2000 something,
1999.
1999.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not in prison though.
not in
See,
prison. He
you
was
think he was
released
in prison
Yeah,
initially?
I thought it was
I
announced that he
thought-
died like
oh,
in
see, that's
prison.
exactly-
Everyone thought that
Yeah.
he died in like 1980
Yeah,
or something like that
Yeah.
in,
Yep.
in the 80s.
but apparently not.
Yeah, so the theory
Yeah.
was introduced by some lady named
Mhm.
Fiona Broom.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, she's like a paranormal researcher.
Where
So
are these facts from? I'm just curious.
fucking internet, dude.
Oh, well.
It's all true.
It's all
Well,
true. What the
true.
fuck you talking about?
My bad.
So let's talk about the Shazam one.
Shazam.
Okay,
Shazam.
hold on.
Shazam or
Okay, hold on.
Shazam or
Okay,
Shazam?
so
Shazam's new.
okay, hold on. So let's go through this because this is going to be confusing.
Not for me.
Okay, you already lost, by the way.
Shazam!
I didn't know we were. In
I know this is a
competition.
battle.
He's like, that, you lost.
So
Game over.
Shazam was the movie, and
Okay.
who was starring in that one?
The new one?
Shaq. The new one or old?
Shaq.
No.
Shaq was in the Genie movie.
There's only one.
Shaq.
Sinbad? I don't understand.
Okay,
the question.
so who starred in Kazam?
Shaq.
So who starred in Shazam?
I don't know.
don't know.
This is
see,
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You just
I-
made a valid point because we can't
What's
even
the point?
determine what the name of the movie we were literally
Yeah.
just arguing about
Yeah.
seconds ago. Me and you.
Yeah,
Chad.
I don't know the name of it. I just remember Sinbad being in the movie. I don't
It's
remember
Kazam.
the name.
It's Kazam with Shaq.
Okay.
Well, I
That's my
remember the
final
one with
answer.
Shaq.
Is that right?
Kazam with Shaq?
Kazam with Shaq.
Yeah, he had
Kazam
a
with Shaq
freaking
is
video
correct.
game.
Oh yeah.
You said okay. So
Yeah.
Shazam
Yeah.
is with Sinbad,
So
I
these
guess.
are two features.
I'm not
Two
saying
different-
I remember the name of the
but
movie.
I'm saying that's how we get them mixed up because they say, "Oh, Shazam."
So you're saying
Shazam.
he was in a Genie movie?
Yeah, both of them. Were.
Okay, bro.
There's two
There's
different movies.
video evidence of him being interviewed about being in the movie
Yeah.
and him saying, "No, I've never been in a Genie movie."
That was part of his contract to
To deny
It was-
it.
it was-
exactly.
I swear to
No, I'm
you
just
can
messing.
Google this right now.
No,
on
I'll
YouTube.
read it
You
to you.
see him,
Look at
yeah.
the most one of the most famous instances of the
Mhm.
Mandela effect. A large majority of people who grew up in the '90s believe they have seen the movie titled Shazam,
I don't know
starring
about the movie title.
starring
Yeah.
comedian Sinbad in the role of the genie back in those years.
Was he in a role?
Hold on, see this
Okay.
this is where I'm gonna get you though.
Whoa.
There is no such movie though.
What?
well,
Shazam.
Shazam.
The only children's movie from 1996 is Kazam, starring Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
So the Sinbad one is out the door. He didn't even. There was no
But
movie.
I don't understand how you just prove that doesn't exist. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Because maybe I don't know.
That's the whole part of the Mandela effect.
Exactly.
Is that something that you believe existed before on the record books now moving forward doesn't exist. That's the whole Mandela.
So there's one movie he was in. He was in a lot of family movies in the 90s, right?
He was in a TV show, everything.
And the movie House Guest, remember that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. Steve Martin, right?
Yeah.
Awesome
That's a good movie.
Picture Sinbad coming out of a post box, which kind of does resemble a genie coming out of a magic lamp. So it can kind of that's just one of the examples. Anyways,
and this is from the paranormal lady.
Yeah, that's a no. These are facts. These are real facts. This lady wrote. No. She wrote the thesis of why it's based. This is why it's called the Mandela.
All right, I'm gonna rock with you. For
no, you know why? I remember Cinema Star back in the day opened up like 1995ish, 6ish.
Okay.
I remember seeing the movie there.
Yeah,
and I saved all my ticket stubs. Yeah, and that's how I remember.
Oh,
but people that didn't do that.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah,
and then
I don't know where they're at now. I wish I did.
We talked about the Bears books.
Bears,
right?
Bears.
Yeah.
How like the spelling?
Yeah. So what's the spelling on that one, Travis?
I don't know.
What?
You remember those books? Berenstein Bears.
It was E instead of A.
E-I-N spelled
E-I-N or Bernstein or something like that. I don't know that exactly.
Oh, is it? Okay, is the difference S-T-E-A-N versus S-T-E-I-N?
So I thought it was Bernstein, right?
Yeah. I grew up with different pronunciations from different people and teachers.
It's called.
I'm gonna fuck you up with one after you're done fact checking me.
So it says you may remember the famous Berenstain Bears cartoon book and TV series. Sure, we remember them too, but the fact is that the name of the series is Berenstain with an A rather than Berenstein with an E.
Okay.
So it's an A.
Yeah, that was never really
spell it out for me, bro.
Berenstain.
A-I.
But see,
like stain,
I remember it the other way though.
Same here.
I remember Bernstein. Not even
E-I-N?
Bernstein. That's how I remember it.
Same. That's how I do.
I don't know Berenstain. Never Berenstain. Okay. It's just one of those things. It hit me.
As a kid, because I used to read those.
We had all those books.
People would say it different all the time.
Yeah.
That's what messes me up more.
So that one messed me up. I don't know, man. I haven't seen a book since.
Yeah. And then they're like gone.
And if you look on the internet and be like, oh, okay, yeah, bitch, you got a fucking picture of Berenstain or
we need a physical copy. Huh?
Yeah, I need a hard copy of the book.
Point.
One of the other ones is the Gremlins.
What's all the Gremlins?
You remember the villainous Gremlin?
Yeah.
What was his name? Was it Spike or Stripe?
I'm out.
Spike?
I don't recall anything of that.
See, that's a Mandela effect right here. His real name is actually Stripe.
Okay. Why would you name a gremlin Stripe with no stripes?
Yeah, he has a stripe.
Stripes?
Yeah, he has stripe in his hair.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but this is Travis.
Yeah.
You're
man, justifying why people think that.
Listen,
way.
Man.
Let me hit you with just one.
Okay.
All right.
Don't be mad at me, player. This is just facts, Holmes.
I'm not mad.
Everyone listens.
But just finish this, and everybody listening, remember along with me. Finish the phrase. Mirror, mirror on the wall.
It could go a lot of ways, though. I think I use that.
Just from memory.
Who's the fairest of them all?
Okay. Who's the fairest of them all? What about you? What do you remember?
No, I just remember messing around with our kids or friends. Like, who's the richest of them all? You know what I mean?
So
or whatever.
I remember
just a bunch of stuff. You can say anything. Who's the wealthiest? Who's the handsomest? Who's the of them all? You know?
Yeah, it was.
But like the OG version, I don't know. Is that
right? But like, if you had to say for sure how the phrase went, what's the part that you would be confident enough to say? Okay,
I know this one. I'm sorry.
It's
magic mirror on the wall.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah,
I've always said mirror.
I only know that because I read it probably like 6 months ago.
Right.
When we're talking about this shit.
So you're supposed to say magic mirror on the wall.
It's magic mirror.
Blah, blah, blah.
Who's the fairest?
Okay.
Magic mirror on the wall.
I'm a Star Wars fan, right? And there's two things in Star Wars that really just blew my mind.
The Darth Vader thing.
One was a CPO leg.
Right.
C-3PO. I never knew his leg was silver.
So he's not all gold.
I thought it was all gold.
His
Like
leg is silver.
forever. Like anytime I remember the picture. Now I can understand that because your brain will forcefully fill in the gaps for you. So I can kind of see that. But the Luke, I am your father. Like that's been in my brain forever.
Christian, do you know what he says on that one?
I'm your father.
I am your father.
No.
No Luke.
No, he says
no Luke.
No, I am your father.
No, I am your father?
Yeah.
Instead of Luke?
No, he just says, I am your father.
No, he says, no, I am your father. I know because I'm a...
No, he says, I am your father.
See, this is a Mandela effect debate.
No, I'm on the internet. You have paper, so I'm right.
This is what they're trying to do.
Okay, let me
this
read,
is what they're trying to do.
Let me read it to
trying
you.
to cause division within friends on podcasts such as this.
Yeah.
So
Don't
says,
fall in. You're falling in.
So it says, Darth Vader's infamous Luke, I am your father.
Right.
Just about everybody who's seen Star Wars and possibly who have not know the phrase Luke, I am your father, right? The truth is the actual phrase used in episode 5, which is Empire Strikes Back, is, no, I am your father.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember him.
So if you, I know that.
So another one. This is the last one.
So
and
which
then,
one do you remember? You don't remember?
Luke.
Oh.
I am your father.
If we pull up like YouTube, it'll tell us legit, or did they like mess it up?
Videos and everything.
It says, no, I am your father.
So the point that I'm trying to make is that like the reason why I explained how the Mandela effect happened, because there's a lot of proof that these things aren't what you remember. But the way I explained the Mandela effect and why it started explains why it would be that way, like why we would see differences. So there's a movie that came out about the Beatles song, right?
Which one?
So it's the one where the guy wakes up and no one remembers any Beatles song. They never existed. It's like a romance comedy or something.
A rom-com?
What is it? A rom-com. Yeah, it's a rom-com. I forget the name of it. But the guy wakes up, he starts singing his Beatles song. Someone hears it for the first time, and they just like fall all over themselves because Beatles never existed. You feel me? So that's kind of how the Mandela effect works. There's no proof moving forward in the future that any of this stuff existed. It's only the memory of the people that were born before this shift in the planet happened with the CERN Hadron Collider. They're saying that there was a lot. Bro, I'm telling you, this Hadron, is it Hadron Collider? Hadron Collider is 17 miles long through 2 countries. It's massive. It's the largest like mechanical thing that like has ever been built. You feel me? It's like larger than a space station or something. So anyways, they collided 2 atoms trying to find like the Higgs.
That's like going
something.
Like super
it's super
deep
science. They're saying it could have started a black hole on Earth. They're saying that could have happened. But I think the type of energy that they released didn't start a black hole, but they're saying it shifted the planet just enough to the point where the theory of, multiple dimensions came into play. And that's why certain things on planet Earth are no longer what certain generations remember. It's a different thing. You feel me? So I remember researching all this stuff being like, oh, okay, here's proof that it isn't this way. But I remember the Oscar Mayer commercial. Oscar Mayer has a first name, it's Oacar. Oscar Mayer has a second name, it's Meyer, but they're saying it's Mayer. I want
to say E.
I specifically remember Meyer. You feel me? Why do I remember that? Am I remembering all these things wrong, or is there something that's going on that's
Oscar
making
Mayer?
me,
Trav, that's actually the Oscar Mayer truck.
Yeah,
my dad was really into that as a kid.
Yeah,
he
I remember you told me that. Yeah,
and it was ME on the little whistle.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
And I think that
it's around the house somewhere.
Listen, there's certain things that people still have that I feel like haven't shifted or whatever it is. It can't be a misprint. So I'm in love with the idea that we not only are shifted and things have changed, but I'm in love with the scientific reason.
Oh yeah, because it goes deep.
Of why? You feel me? Because if it, like, you can't just collide 2 atoms that have never been done before. So the way what they were trying to figure out. Let's say that there's 10 molecules in each atom.
Mayer, by the way.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I remember Mey. Like
if I go to the store, what is it right now?
Mayer.
We need to test these out. Is there another one like
oh, there's a bunch.
No, I know. Like we have.
I have a lot more.
Give me a couple more.
The chase symbol.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
even like Skechers. How do you spell Skechers?
See that I saw that too. It's like sketch
Yeah.
or like sketch with CH or something, right?
Yeah, it's
SKETCHERS.
No,
No.
see, it doesn't have a T in it.
Yeah,
There's no T.
like
Oh, I have
Yeah.
a picture
and the other one, how about like Flintstones
with two
the I?
T's.
with two T's?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not Flintstones.
Flintstones.
It's
See,
Flintstone.
when you're a kid watching this, you're not really paying attention
yeah.
to the spelling
I'm
of
gonna
it.
bring up that
But,
Skechers one.
the
Real
But
other
it
one-
makes sense.
The other ones like that is Febreze.
Febreze, okay.
How do you think of
Fruit
one?
Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
That's the other one.
What's that? 2 O's or no? What was it?
Fruit Loops is FROOT. Loops. It's not fruit.
What?
Yeah, it's not fruit. FU.
It's
F-
FROOT.
FROOT. Yeah,
See, I don't remember that.
not fruit.
That
I remember
never
that because
stood out.
they had the pieces of
Yeah.
cereal as the O's,
Yeah.
right, bro? Is that the logo?
Yep.
Okay.
FR and then the two
See,
pieces.
yeah,
of
that
cereal.
that escapes me.
Yeah, that one, and then also like Cheez-Its.
With the Z or with no?
Yeah, spell it out how it
Which one?
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
It's actually just Cheez-It.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no
Yeah.
Z at the end.
That see with the
And do we say
spelling,
that?
I understand. Cheez-Its.
We
say
say
Cheez-Its, but
yeah.
it's Cheez-It. Yeah, like, okay, so stuff like that, I get the psychology behind it.
Yes,
like I really
yes,
do,
yes.
because I don't know the lyrics to any song. I replace all the lyrics. So what people think that you're hearing, and then with the radio edits and all this,
Exactly.
like I
different
get that,
versions.
but like I'm telling you, like the science behind it makes more sense than the things that they're pointing out. I feel like they're adding so many things that could easily be represented two ways to
Yeah.
what is actually factually different.
So I'll give you two
You feel
more
me?
factual ones.
Yeah,
So like the Forrest Gump one, the Forrest Gump line, life is like a
life
box
is
of
like a
chocolate.
box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
But that's incorrect too, right?
That's what they're
It's-
saying.
They're
Yeah.
saying life was like a box of
Yeah, but
chocolates,
that
which
doesn't
is
even grammatically make sense.
Look, Skechers. I have a picture of
Yeah.
my son
Yeah.
oh yeah,
next to a Skechers
Yeah.
poster.
yeah, no,
Like he's in it, and it's
Yeah.
no T.
no T.
No T. Yeah.
And
But
then
this is the thing. It
That's
could, when
crazy.
it changes, it doesn't change
That's
like
crazy.
just our memory. It changes everything that goes along with
well,
it.
here's one,
You know
and
what I'm
you
saying?
could take it after this because
Yeah. So the words I don't trust.
one more is the JFK assassination car.
Okay.
Car.
Yeah, you remember?
Lincoln?
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
a Lincoln.
That's
but-
correct so far.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And then he had the top down that day, right?
Mhm.
And how many people were in the car?
Let me see.
So they're saying that it was
1,
him,
2,
his
3,
wife,
5.
2 people in the front,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to say there was a third row.
Yeah.
No, there was
Yeah.
he sat. What's the debate, bro? Is it how many people in the
How
car?
many
Yeah.
people were in the
5.
car? Yeah, there was actually in the car. There were 6 people in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because it was a third row. They were.
there's a
sitting
third
on
row.
a-
It was actually a Lincoln Continental limousine
Yeah.
Was it okay?
It's a
so 2 in
limousine.
the front,
See,
2
I
in the
don't-
back.
with
like,
without
yeah.
the top
Mhm.
on. So
Because he was
See, I
sitting on
don't
the top. It
remember
looked
that.
like right.
no, he was sitting in the
Uh.
back seat.
That's actually a seat he sat
Yeah.
on. It's not the top. Like
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, I remember. Well, I think they caught different pictures throughout the little
Yeah.
drive. And one, he was sitting on top, and one, he's sitting in a seat with his wife.
Well, when he got blasted,
Mhm.
he was sitting in the seat
right.
in the back seat. But there were
See,
6
that was
people in
that
inside
was
the inside the car.
before my
Yeah, it's
time, so
crazy.
I don't have any visual memories.
I've seen
other
that
than
video
remakes
numerous
and,
Yeah.
times.
You know, and then the government already had the technology to like manipulate film. So like, I don't
For
know.
me,
what
like
to
I like the
believe.
JFK stuff,
Yeah.
and so like
Yeah, me too.
I've studied it too.
That's
And,
gonna
and
be
if you
released
go
soon.
on YouTube, you can actually there's a museum who have the car,
Yeah.
and it's like a
A
real
3-seater or 3 rows.
yeah real hefty limousine. It's like it doesn't look like a regular Lincoln Continental. It looks like it's bulletproof, and it's got
strange
it's
that
got the
they would
extra
make a convertible.
the extra row.
bulletproof. Think about it.
Yeah.
Was the convertible top bulletproof?
Yeah, but it was off. It was off.
Oh, it was like one of those pickup.
Yeah, it was,
not a full-
exactly.
Oh yeah, they have it.
That's so stupid.
Yeah,
You make a bulletproof convertible car. Like, think about that.
and
is
he
the
and he
drive-
chose not to
Yeah.
wear it.
That's the driver,
Yeah.
second row, third row.
Yeah,
I thought
exactly.
he was sitting on top, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
of a
all the
cool
angles
guy, you know?
cut the back off, so you get a zoom in. So like that, like the whole point is the idea behind. Not everything that they say with the Mandela effect is true, but the ones that are easiest to manipulate are the ones with the words. You dig? Yeah.
you all right?
You should have coronavirus coming out. So, anyways, so like I'm in love with the science. Like I don't know where it came from, but since I was like 10, 11. Like,
Yeah.
like science just like baffles me how it could be so correct but yet so wrong at the same time. So we don't really know what we're talking about.
Exactly. You're right.
Like, we don't really know. Like at one point the Earth was flat. At one point gravity reacted a certain way. At one point most of the theories that we believe were true in science and even the 1900s were all incorrect. And it's steadily being proven wrong.
It's a constant battle. I think it's going to continue that way for the rest of the day.
Do you think that the Earth was flat, Travis?
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
Earth was flat. I'm just saying at one
That's
point
the
it was,
idea.
it was an international fact that the Earth was flat.
That was a test for a friendship, by the way.
Because only a few people traveled to see the
exactly.
You know.
So no, I like if you get a chance, instead of looking up those things, because
Looking
the whole
up what
point,
things?
like the proof that Myers is M-A-Y-E-R.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, right now it's not M-A-Y-E-R, but the idea behind what happened would explain why.
So
it's
that's why you think
M-A-Y-E-R.
it changed because of the Hadron Collider?
That's the theory that sounds the most correct right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's there's a kid that I follow. He's like a born genius, and he explains.
Smart guy?
I think so. Yeah, I think he graduated MIT at like age 16 or something. Yeah, like he's super smart, and he explains visually infinity. And he said, and then it helped me realize what they were talking about. What happened with the halogen? How do you say it? Hadron Collider. And it makes a lot of sense because with that much force, they were looking for something that like would explain like the God particle or something.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking was all over this, dude.
Yeah.
Right before he died, he was all over it. He was the one who was saying that this could cause a black hole.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to basically break open like the smallest mass, but a physical mass, and see what's inside of it. Like there's no consequences behind this. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I've been following this literally for like maybe 21 years.
Yeah. Well, I know that
A lot of them.
Yeah.
I know that those guys at the Hadron Collider, they're trying to make a black hole, and they're using it to rip this dimension in half.
They're
basically.
not trying to.
Yeah,
make
they
it.
are.
They're trying to find molecules that don't exist to the naked eye.
No.
They
Well, okay,
are.
no, but
They're not
that's
trying to make a black hole on Earth.
yes,
bro.
they are. Yes, they are.
What
They're-
would be the point of that?
That's just my belief.
No-
I'm just
okay.
telling
so
you.
These are pseudo facts. Gotcha.
What are your facts?
My
called?
facts are
Since you
that
know
they're
everything.
looking- I
They're
know.
pseudo fucking
I
facts.
do know everything. Please DM me for answers to all
Jesus,
your
please
problems.
don't DM Travis.
No, legit.
We should be looking to Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci right now.
Oh wow! Someone finally leading you in the right direction.
I took the vaccine this weekend,
there
guys.
you
By the
go.
way,
That's why you look different. Yeah,
no, it's just my
you
tan.
look
Don't
like you're
don't trip.
decaying.
I know. Right?
No,
don't take the vaccine. By the way,
What they're looking for is they're looking for what they call the Higgs particle or the God particle, something that explains quantum physics.
why do you think they call it the God particle, though?
Because it's like something that will explains everything on Earth. So they called it the God.
Yeah.
particle.
So with that God particle, they're trying to reach into the other dimension. That's what they're.
And that's what I'm getting. That's my point.
Yeah.
So when you go into another dimension, certain dimensions are so close to what we're living in right now that the only difference would be
Those little
a
things.
mile doesn't equal up to the exact measurement of what we consider a mile to be.
Yeah.
Or the Earth's axis is 2 degrees off in this next dimension.
So let me give you an example of this. And this is from the Bible. So
Okay. You
just
always hit me with this.
it's okay. And that's okay.
unrefutable
I'm
book.
gonna
Okay,
teach you
go ahead.
something. Just you
Please.
teach me something every time.
I'm a great student.
No. You are when you're quiet. No. So like in the Bible, what it represents, for me, basically what I think the dimensions are from, the heavenly realm and our realm, or, something that's the fourth dimension, basically. Right? There's 3 dimensions and a 4th dimension.
There's multiple dimensions.
Okay. So there's 4 dimensions, people. Okay.
Okay.
For people like me.
Yeah.
What's the first, second, third?
2D, 3D.
But it's sight, sound. No, what is it then?
It's length.
No.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What are
Sorry.
you talking about?
Sorry. You're right. Height, length. with
1 point for Travis.
and then there's the fourth one,
which is what a tesseract is built on, which is like time.
Okay,
You know
so
what I'm saying?
okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. So
Yeah.
in the Bible, what it says,
Mm-hmm.
one day is like 1,000 years,
Okay, that makes sense.
and so that's what I'm saying. So it runs parallel,
Mhm.
but 1 day on Earth is 1,000 years, or 1,000 years here is 1 day in heaven.
Right.
So that's kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
How can you explain it? Like it takes
explain it.
Pluto
Yeah.
longer to go around the sun
Right.
than the Earth or
Right.
Mercury, whatever.
Right.
So it's kind of the same idea.
Kind of, but you can also look at it from a scientific point of view. So if you were to take off in a spaceship
Yep.
and travel a certain distance,
Mm-hmm.
that would be equivalent to us counting until we hit 1,000 years, and then you return, or 500 years,
Yeah.
you return, and then you hit back at Earth at 500 years, which will equal 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
It could also say that heaven is this exact distance away, to the point where by the time 1 year cycles on Earth, we'll be 1,000 years away.
Yeah.
Which means that if you came back, the Earth would be 1,000 years, older. So that could be an explanation of the distance
Yeah.
between Earth and heaven.
Yeah. No.
You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Exactly. And that's why
Yeah.
I say like that's kind of how I've always equated that
Right.
fourth.
Heaven. But you can also look at it from a fourth dimension point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it from a fourth dimension point of view, the best way to explain dimensions is an ant only sees the dimension that it's able to see. There's nothing smaller than an ant other than like bacteria, shit like that.
Yeah.
So they're living in like a 2D dimension. But we've mastered flight. We know that we can see a different point of view if we go higher up into space.
Yeah.
So that gives us more of a 3D point of view. We know the ocean is deep. We know the sky is high. That gives us more of the 3D point of view.
Mm-hmm.
A fourth dimension is something you can't visually see because you can't measure it in distance.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you can't really, even feel like it's there, but you could create it like visually. You could create it. So the best way to explain it
It's
is
time.
like a cube. It's time. Yeah, it's a cube within a cube within a cube within a cube. So the only way to get to each portions of it to see it is through time.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then that would take infinity amount of time because there's too many angles for you to be able to solidify in our brains.
Yeah.
We grew up in a 3D world. There's no way we can conceive how a fourth dimension actually work. In a fourth dimension, I can walk through that door and end up in Nebraska. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And it make all the sense in 4D.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because time is different than distance. It's almost like it's interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was explaining the hydrogen
Halodron.
halodron,
Yeah.
it fucks me up every time. The halodron. You're probably saying it wrong.
Okay.
I'm almost positive.
Fact check me again.
I might have to do this.
Again.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
He will for
anyways,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
Hey
Yeah.
Siri.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Stop. I can't stand her. Yeah. So my whole point is when they explained it with the atoms hitting each other, and at that point it's shifting the Earth, it shifted just enough
Mm-hmm.
where people were starting to remember things differently. You know what I mean? Because you could shift your physical environment, but I think because your conscious, your soul is so untethered from your physical dimension that you're living in, you can't change a person's memory. You know what I mean? You could change the wording, you can change the spelling, you can change the patterns, you can change the words and everything else.
Yeah.
But it's like the quote we say, you can take the boy out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the boy. You could put you on another planet, and this planet has totally different physics, but you're going to remember exactly what you remember.
I'm gonna live my deja vu.
Exactly. And that's what people are doing. People that were born a certain time,
Yeah.
they remember it. Even though it's proven to be different, they remember it. You get what I'm saying? And everyone can't be wrong, and it's mostly like 80s babies, 70s babies. I guarantee you there's no record of any phenomenon like Mandela effect in the history of the world other than right now. Like I can guarantee you can't look it up in history where people remember this happening. It's happening now though, and I agree that it has a lot to do with the CERN collider. I really do. There's a lot of stuff that people just naturally don't understand.
Yeah.
That's going on there, but like I get the physics of it. I'm not MIT, educated. I didn't go to Harvard, but like science. No, I'm telling you, science, I have a good grasp on how science.
MIT, my son wants to go there. Dude.
That's cool.
Who?
Christian.
He should go. If he put it like this, let me tell you something. If he is even considering going to MIT, you don't just decide you're going to go to MIT. Yeah. It's not like a school for money.
Could be the next Bill Gates.
Bro, he could be the next Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, like seriously, like it's a different level of thinking. The people at MIT, they're not going there for money. They're not going there for fame. They're going there just to be around intellectual minds because they have something to offer the world. Yeah. They just need the right tools and connections to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's a different level. 8th grade, 9th grade that that's a different level of smart, bro.
Dude's smart. That little dude is he's a smart dude.
That's basically you put him on an island with a bunch of people that haven't been educated, and everyone on that island is going to come out like above average. Because like you don't just go to MIT, they most of the time they seek you out. You feel me? But there's a test he can take online.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a test he can take online.
Yeah, maybe he can find a vaccine for us.
Oh, they've already introduced multiple options to the government, and they won't take it. One of the kids from MIT made
I was being facetious, by the way, but yeah.
Oh, okay. One of the kids there made a ventilator for $20.
Yeah.
And put the patent in there, not using it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
$20 ain't enough for them.
No.
Yeah,
and it disrupts the market.
Well, of course. So. All they want is their money for all the hospitals, which is sad. There's a lot of shit going on. That's why the hospitals are empty because they don't want anybody in there, but they want to call everybody COVID so they can get the cash.
Yeah,
that sucks, man.
$39,000.
Yeah, probably around them.
Yeah,
so
I would do the same thing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? To me, it's just it's just it's not all by chance. It didn't happen like this in depth.
This
like
is master plan.
It's a this is a blueprint. They're following the roadmap.
Yeah,
I mean,
you see the Ice Cube thing?
The Ice Cube?
Yeah. Thank you. He calls out the pandemic being planned. I don't know when they filmed it, but he's on some show.
Yeah.
And he's all like, the government does this all the time. They see how the people are going to react to different events. He was like, remember H1N1?
Mm-hmm.
Government ploy. Yeah. He was like, remember this? Swine flu? Government created. Yeah. He said, remember the bird flu? He's like, no, that shit was real. Watch out. It's funny. But he calls out like the planned event like years ago in a TV show. You know what I mean? So like a lot of people that aren't open to the idea that government will have the audacity to purposely put millions of people's lives at risk so that way they can.
It's like the rats that they use, mice that they use.
Exactly.
That's all it is. They got to do something.
They have a bigger picture that they want to implement. Yeah. And sometimes they got to do shady things like 9/11. Like I'm not saying it wasn't real. There's a difference between like reality and created reality. They're both true. Mm-hmm. Of course, the planes hit the building. Like some people in their minds, like, no, the planes.
It was helicopters, dude.
But
it was helicopters.
See, but
Mandela effect.
Hold on, but see, but this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. See, and everyone forgets.
Blackhawks.
Everyone forgets the fact that.
He said Hawks.
When the Pentagon got attacked, that they lost the trace to all trillions of dollars. How much?
Bro,
was it?
There's pictures all over the internet.
Like $300 trillion that went missing.
What?
And they just so happened to blow up the side that was that contained all the papers. Yeah, exactly.
Go
See,
back.
This is the 9/11 fool.
What?
Yes.
Where did the 300? When was it announced?
Or 800 trillion.
Trillion.
When
did they $1 trillion?
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
That wabbit stole $1 trillion from me.
$2 trillion.
That went missing?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean went missing? That's more than they spent on their black budget.
See, but you didn't remember that. You would say 9/11, the planes hit the buildings. Yeah, I remember that day. No.
Helicopters.
Yeah, but that's also the day that they covered it up because the Pentagon got hit and they blasted that department and all the papers
like
and shit.
Die Hard. What we call it?
Yeah.
What we call it, Travis?
That's really smart. Yeah.
What's it called?
Die Hard?
See?
No. Where you do this.
Oh, the Texas Shuffle.
There you go.
Oh,
Texas
Texas
Shuffle.
Shuffle. That was the Texas Shuffle
That's
right
a
there.
Texas Shuffle.
2.3.
That's the pure definition of a Texas
2.3
Shuffle.
trillion missing from the Pentagon.
What?
We mentioned the
September
Texas Shuffle.
11th. Yeah.
Why
couple
was it
times.
missing? Oh, so they paid somebody.
Well,
Someone's
yeah,
always getting paid.
yeah, of course. It was Rumsfeld
yeah.
buried admission of missing $2 trillion at on 9/10.
Like
01.
cash money? What? Like what? That doesn't make any. How did?
And the next day, no one fucking gave a shit about it.
Wait a minute. I'm still baffled by the point that. Okay, how did it go missing? It burnt up in the flames? Like what? What do you mean?
Someone
went
cut a
missing?
check,
Oh, that check is gone. That was non-true.
and the bank records are
What?
gone. Yeah, the receipts are gone. All the files,
actually
emails,
really
the
smart.
computers are gone.
Someone
That's
got
actually really smart.
broke off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because imagine every 3 years your garage gets broken into.
Yeah.
Someone keeps stealing those damn tax receipts.
Imagine that guy
that
after
you were
he got his
saving.
money, like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
So like,
The Bin
I don't know.
Ladens.
Yeah, I just live in a reality that a lot of people like. I realize that I live in two different realities.
Yeah.
You feel me?
flat Earth
I
and
live
normal
in-
Earth.
I live
Hey,
in
hey,
one
Magellan,
reality.
your
I
boat's
know,
gonna
right?
fall off the fucking edge if you don't fucking
Exactly.
chill.
Danger. No. No, I live in a world which is necessary
Yeah.
to keep everyone sane, the false sense of security, and everyone
Mhm.
gets along. I live in that world.
Yeah.
And that world is real chill.
Yeah.
But I also know there's an underground world. Like you can't have a mafia family exist, cartel exists, different guerrilla resistance groups exist in the same world that there's complete order. You know what I mean? You can't have a world where politicians, judges, cops, commissioners, generals are all corrupt and not have a corrupt government. Like you can't have a world where one country you could buy anything, whether it be women getting out of jail, and not have a country where corruption isn't a thing. You know what I mean? So some people live in a world where none of this exists.
Yeah.
And it's all handled by the police force and the FBI, but it's been proven since the Reagan days that it's all one. You can't. It's what's the word? Infantilent.
G35, bitch.
No,
Infinity.
no. It's Anyways, basically, you can't have a world where good exists with evil and not have them be the exact same thing. They exist at the exact same time,
Mm-hmm.
just not 50-50 at the exact same time.
Yeah.
One time is 51-49.
Yeah.
One time is 55-45. They feed off each other. They're the same thing. You can't have a world where everything's good and there's no crime or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's built into you. We've had this conversation where like you don't believe everyone's born inherently evil,
Yeah.
but we kind of are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fact that it exists in our brain means it exists, period.
Yeah.
Once we start living online and like there's how art, I believe truly that art imitates life. There's a show coming out right now where I haven't seen it, but
Tiger
it
King.
shows a guy. No,
Nicolas Cage,
it
Tiger
shows
King.
a guy. It shows a guy living in afterlife, but in a digital way.
Upload.
Upload, right?
As a movie?
That's fucking what
it
happened.
good?
That's what I believe
I'm
happened
gonna
to
watch
Steve
it.
Jobs.
What's it on, Trav?
Where
It's
do you-
on Amazon. It's an Amazon original.
Upload?
It's
newer?
So this theory has been floating forever.
Yeah.
That instead of dying, the only way to have
It's basically a new
You're
time
never-
avatar.
exactly,
Yeah.
but it's also the fountain of youth. What do they call that when you can't die?
Oh,
You're immortal.
Yeah.
So it's a way to be immortal, or at least get to live a couple hundred years instead of just 50, 60,
Yeah.
70,
So basically, what you're doing,
Yeah.
you're raising
uploading.
you're uploading yourself, or your not even your soul, dude. Your fucking thoughts and your mind.
Yeah.
So you have no
Yeah.
soul. Basically, that's what it's
Right.
about. You have no
So-
soul. You're just another.
digital.
You're another
No, you
avatar.
still have a soul.
You're another avatar of yourself.
That's that's like your personal point of view. Like you say that you have no soul.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, you
even
can
even with the Avatar, like the movie Avatar, I feel like you still have a soul.
Yeah.
Like you still it transcends into even a digital realm of
gotta watch that
existence.
movie.
Dude, it's
Upload.
Upload.
Amazon.
Amazon
And
It's-
Avatar. It's the
but
same
this
thing.
idea has been floating in small, like the Matrix would be kind of like Upload. You know
It's
what
the
I mean?
same thing.
It's the same thing.
Mm.
But what I truly believe, like Bill Gates is preparing the world for is there will be people. Like, imagine if let's just think outside the box. Let's imagine this whole shelter in place is the first step to getting people to no longer leave their homes, right? And the next step is for technology to get so good that now devices implemented where you can live any life you want from the comfort of your home. And school is no longer at schools. You can put on a VR training
Everything's
set.
going to be VR.
Exactly. So if this gets implemented,
It will.
and it probably will, 50 years from now,
10
years from now,
2030.
I say about 25 before it gets to where I'm
2030.
going.
We're fucked.
Right. So where I'm trying to take it is that, like, this show Upload is art imitating life.
Yeah.
A lot of times some of the richest people tell the best stories that are unbelievable because they know what's coming. And these stories trickle down to directors and they get sent in as scripts.
Yeah.
And then they disguise it in a way.
The movies are based on
the
something
movies
always.
are true.
Yeah.
It's even like that Tom Cruise movie where he was fighting crime or something before the person actually did it. These are all ideas.
Well, all these ideas. They come from They come from
life.
They come from the people who are in charge of, or not, I don't even
information leaking.
I don't even want to say in charge. I think they work in conjunction with the people who are actors, directors, the people who are behind the scenes of this elitist group. I guess you can call them a group.
Yeah.
Can you call them a group?
It's got to be a group. I think it's more like a age-old fraternity.
And I think they don't go against say, hey, don't make that, or don't tell anybody.
Right.
I think they want us to see the movies that are made about
Think
their
about why
about their
they want
lives.
that information relayed.
Think about why 5G is so
But I think they're so
important.
they're so proud of, like, no, this is my creation, the Minority Report. We already have
it's
that.
like a secret that they.
It's like the laughable
they think
secret.
they don't
you
want
like
to
that movie?
leak,
Cool.
but they want it to
See how
leak.
your grandkids will like it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a low key, but you need the right infrastructure to make these things come into fruition. You feel me? So if you look at the map, you know how you can do your speed test online? I think it's OOFK or A or something. SpeedNet or something like that. We have, I think, 5,000. Yes. We have 5,000 towers, 5G towers.
Yeah.
There's some places that I think the rest of the world has like 2,000.
Yeah, it's more than us.
Me? It makes sense why Bill Gates would force a vaccine like this. It makes sense why Apple hasn't came out with any like extreme technology. They're the most popular hardware brand.
Yeah.
You need the most popular hardware brand on point. You need the best computer programmer and on the history of the planet in play.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in play, you're probably going to die from AIDS earlier than you should have. Like certain people.
Mm-hmm.
You dig? Like, so I'm telling you, like, there's the long haul picture, which could take a lifetime to develop. But there's, I think, societies and groups.
By the way.
Our I think it's going down there. Honestly,
no, it'll be the.
I think the infrastructure is going down in our lifetime.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So maybe within our 80 years of life, I think that's when the end is. So I have 60 more years. So
16,
60.
Oh, whew.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I'm only
but
I'm
that
only
may
20
not
right now.
be true anymore. You could have another 80 years based on this technology. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, what's killing you is the certain foods that you're eating or the certain whatever that you're eating. We already have the technology to replace every worker on planet Earth with a robot or a program or an algorithm.
For sure.
We already have the technology.
Yeah.
Like in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Like think about it. We've proven experimental wise that we don't need people out there working.
Yeah.
Think about all the people that are still working. Fast food
Part
restaurants.
of their test, dude.
There's
Of
robots
course it is.
that
Part
can
of
do-
their test.
There's robots right now in Japan that could run it and can entire McDonald's
Yeah.
from start to finish.
Dude, all
There's
these
robots that can take meal items from McDonald's and drop them off at your house. We don't need human workers.
Yeah.
So now you got experimental exercise that proves that you don't need this and that to function.
So what do you think the end game is? I mean, why just use robots and then what do we do?
I think that
What do humans
is so
do?
close to the Matrix movies that people are too naive to realize what they're really after. So imagine if you wanted to control a planet.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, so what? Bill Gates and his family is just going to be kicking it by themselves the whole time and just like,
they're going to be living their best life during. Okay, so how do you create different classes in the digital world? You feel me?
Yeah.
Just like you do in every online game. You have the have and the have-nots. Think about like what's that popular game that everyone plays online and people spend cash money to get
Fortnite.
gold? No, computer, PC.
No.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but you could be like a dwarf. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
There's somebody yelling right now, like it's this. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's
shut
super
the hell
popular.
up.
But there's different levels.
Save it, nerd.
Yeah. There's different levels of players. Obviously, you have the players that have all the money, all the gold. They have all the items. They have all the swag bags.
Yeah.
All the everything. So they're living in this environment through this character, but they're living on top of the hill. They have the best weapons. They have the best. Same.
And then I just start the game. Now I have to kill like 20 people to get one gun.
Now you're digging in the caves looking for gold. Now you have mediocre weapons, which get the same hierarchy and class will just be transferred online.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And then as you're digging for gold, just like in Endgame or Ender's Game or whatever that was, is one of the best books I've read in a long time, where the kid's looking for the coin. He's playing the video games. But you see how they translate that from fake life?
Yeah.
He's living in like a shelter. He's living in a hood.
Yeah.
But on the game, you could be bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go in and out if you want to.
Yeah.
But if you go in and then out, you're welcome to your horrible reality where you live in a freaking trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But if you go in and out and you actually have money, you come in and out, but you're coming into like a paradise island, or, you know, you don't need to escape reality because your real reality is so good. So I feel like that'd be the best way to get rid of 20, 30, 50 million people.
That's it?
Without actually killing, well, more than that, without actually killing them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's true. I can see like maybe like a third of the United States being overtaken by just staying in their house and be fine with
we're already
all the
doing
VR shit.
We're already doing it.
The other 2/3 either going to be sick or like you know, maybe like probably like another eighth of that 2/3 will be sick.
Yeah.
The other maybe another third will probably be not wanting to do anything.
My prediction is
be normal.
Elon Musk. I love the guy to death.
Fuck him.
But listen, if he is truly the guy that you're saying, fuck
he's
him,
part of it too.
But hear me out.
And he's pretending like he's not, but he is.
But hear me out. If he,
I think he's a genius.
No,
but,
I know.
But
Steve Jobs was a genius. But I also think he had more heart than a lot of people give him credit for. So
I
if
believe that
Elon Musk is the guy that I think he is, kind of like Steve Jobs, he won't survive this planet. He won't survive.
I think he's. I think.
But if he isn't,
I think he's.
thrive.
I think he's got the best interest is for his business, and whether that means him building the Starlink because he's getting a huge fucking grant from the government, his business is going to thrive. His name will live on forever. And
I don't think it's that.
I think it is, man.
I don't think.
I really think it is, and he's pretending that he's. You know, I don't want to say pretending. I want to say that he's. How can you say it? Like he wants his business to thrive, but he knows it's. But he's also made people aware that we have to watch out for AI, and that's his big thing. Like he says, no, he said that a million times. Like
we got to do a show about AI.
I mean, I think I
don't think people understand like what's out there.
Yeah, no,
what
there's
AI is.
No,
too much.
Yeah,
you know,
I think people think AI is a dog.
Sometimes it's boring for me, dude. I can't stand it. To be honest,
I feel it, man. But it fascinates me.
No, it is
really
fascinating, dude. But I mean, I could barely take this. Like,
no, I feel
so much. There's so much, and everyone's
from
right.
From your point of view, what do you think AI?
I don't think.
No,
because I'll deal with what's to come.
Right. You're more of a. I'll handle it when it gets here. I don't need to know. Because
we could debate. We could not argue, but we could debate. Everyone. I just think everyone. It's like religion. You know what I mean? Like I think I mentioned to you guys before. Like it's like religion. Like you're Buddhist right now. Right. You're whatever Catholic. Christian, Catholic, whatever. You have your own beliefs, and it just doesn't go any. You can live in harmony.
No one can win.
But we don't know if Jesus is coming back. True. I mean, some people love it. Some people don't know. Yeah. Some people want it. Some people don't. That's why they start their own religion, so they can be like, no, I don't want Jesus to come back, but I love all his teachings. Right. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot.
What's a lot of stuff?
All this stuff you guys are talking about right now. You guys are going back and forth like, oh, I think it's going to be this. Oh, I think it's going to be this. In our lifetime? Well, it started in our lifetime. It's just no one knows. It's like what's gonna happen the first baseball game that comes up. What's the score going to
Right.
be? We don't know.
Right.
We don't know.
I
Let's
see it more
wait.
like entertainment, like Aristotle discussing with his friends. Like, okay, so what do you think the peak of mathematics will go? Like,
Well-
what do you think the potential of this knowledge will take us? You know what I mean? Like, I see it more like that. Even though you don't know or could never know the outcome, it's pretty cool to have it on record and it be true. You know what I mean?
And then there's
Like
that one guy
Nostradamus.
that's like on point about
Mhm.
everything.
Like,
Yeah.
dang, he
Yep.
was right in every. So that's more entertaining. I know that I'm not going to be alive to see if any of this is going to be true, but it's entertaining to see the older you get, the more dots you connect. You know what I mean? And the more you know, you don't. Like, I love that phrase. The older I get, the less I know. You know, because you think you know something, and then you end up not knowing anything, because none of what you believe was true.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I always
You'd be
say
surprised.
if I'm
Your
if I'm
instinct
not
is-
100% sure, then most of the time I just don't know, and I have to like think about
Yeah.
it and debate. Like,
It's uncomfortable to
like these
be-
masks. Like, should I be wearing them?
Yeah.
Okay, just to
It irritates me to even wearing it.
it does, but
Yeah.
you want to be safe, but at the same time,
Mhm.
you either look like a freak if you have it or don't. You know what I mean? So we've said it
Damn if you
before.
do, damn if you don't.
Exactly.
So what do you
Yeah.
want to talk about, Christian?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how your drinks are holding up right now.
My drink is
You
doing
ready?
good.
You want to take a shot?
Yes,
Yeah?
please.
Do you want to take a
Yes.
shot, bro?
Sure.
I want to talk about. Okay, let's talk about. What do you call it? The Last Dance. I was talking to somebody today.
We don't have shot glasses.
Oh, you know,
And our
I'll take it
glasses
on the
are
bottle.
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking today to somebody about how I feel bad that the media portrayed Mike in a certain way, to the point where I actually looked at him like that. I was like, damn, he's dope this, he's dope that, but he was a horrible gambler. Like, it's in my brain
Yeah.
that like that was like, but seeing him defend himself in the time that they were accusing, I felt totally bad now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I was too young to know the difference. I gamble now, and I know why I gamble. I don't gamble to win all the time. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I should.
You should.
But it's
yeah,
a
you should.
release. It's a release. It's like, man, this is like a win when I win, but when I lose, it's more of a competition.
It's like a
But
different
mentally.
form of a workout because you're giving it all you got not to lose.
Mhm.
Trying to gain all you can from that betting,
Mhm.
gambling, game, golf, whatever.
Oh,
You're right.
yeah, it's proper. I hate you. What's his name? Connor. He's such a jerk, dude.
Conor
Conor McGregor.
McGregor.
Yes, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's like media, dude. They
Yeah.
just want you to.
Yeah.
It's just anything for a
Yeah,
story.
he
like
plays the part.
how he was talking about news. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you believe? Like, you're gonna believe him because it's coming from his
Right.
mouth, or are you gonna believe the guy that actually saw him do what he said he didn't?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And a lot of times people know that it's easier to fall into public opinion than it is to defend yourself. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times if someone labels you as a thief, sometimes it's easier to just play the role and deal with it than to fight and say that you aren't that.
and they always just want to go after the top dog, like Elon Musk.
Exactly.
Same
exactly.
thing. It's the same thing. Everyone's
Yeah.
just like pointing for that story.
I think he's a superhero. I really do. I think that he knows what's going on, and he's smart enough to buy, purchase, make, build certain things that he knows the government will want and need, letting them think that they have full control, but really have a back door for the people. You feel me? That's what I really think is going on. And if it is true, from my point of view, what we were trying to say is that, then that's all good. We'll know. But if it isn't true, he'll be alive for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's true. Would you?
No one
believe it?
knows.
Yeah,
No one knows,
exactly.
yeah.
I don't
No one
know.
knows.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
And again, the thing
Yeah.
is, like, there has to be someone that plants it. Hey, do a
Mhm.
story on this. I found out some information, right? Like his teammates or whatever.
Right.
Um,
You ever watched a series, like a championship series, and you had a gut instinct that this team was going to win, and then all of a sudden some fluke of an event happens?
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird because
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up. Well, let's make him lose like this.
Right.
We're gonna make him lose like
Right.
this. He's not gonna overcome this.
Yeah.
And he does.
Right.
And then he's the greatest of all time. I think that
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
the turning point
Yeah.
for that, to overcome things in the media, this and that. But
Mhm.
with other documentaries, you were asking what?
No, I was just saying that, like, I was trying to link the sports championship
Oh, just
event
to overcome.
to what we were talking about earlier, that a lot of times you think that it's just like a natural event that happens, but a lot of times it's orchestrated. You know what I mean? In such a meticulous way that you're like, oh, that's just a coincidence.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
1988 World Series. I thought the A's were going to smash the Dodgers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then Kirk Gibson comes out, hits a home run, pretty much wins the series for them, right, bro? And then you got like, I don't know, just the underdog. I'm always rooting for the underdog, right?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Best stories. Yeah. And then you got to dig back. And then a lot of times in these events where these teams are doing so good, you can find correlations between what was going on in LA at the time, what contracts were being produced, what buildings were being pushed forward.
You're talking about in hindsight?
In hindsight, because a lot of times if a sports team wins, the city gets more funding, city gets projects through. You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of small things into play that are discussable that have nothing to do with facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That are important just as much as the game. So, I don't know. There's a lot of correlation between certain events that once... Is that the ocean? What's that?
It's the ocean.
Oh, I was freaking out. Is it bedtime?
The neon blue water. That's a sound.
Yeah, man. So, like, I don't know. Everything fascinates me. It's always good to know a little bit about every subject just because once you know a little bit about every subject, then they start to connect together. You know what I mean? So... it connects in a way that's like, holy shit, that's a coincidence. This is going for this price, and then this just happened in Venezuela. You know what I mean? Or, oh, fuck, this clothing fashion is popular, but this also happened over here. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know.
I like how they give Scotty and Rodman their time. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I'm a Rodman fan.
I'm kind of glad it was not all about Jordan.
Yeah.
It was about the team and, you know, even John Paxson who did that three at the end.
That was beautiful.
It was about all of them.
Who passed him the three, though?
I don't know who it was.
I think it was Horace Grant.
I was going to say Horace. Yeah, it was Horace.
So it was almost like, I feel like it was almost a defiant decision. Because even the coach said that ball was not supposed to go into Paxton's hand.
Right.
But
they run that offense, that
triangle offense.
Where the ball is, everyone gets sucked in.
Yep.
And
you
someone's
give it
always
to the
going to be
outside
open.
person,
So
yeah.
That's part of
so
the
he was
strategy
playing
too.
the play, what was properly supposed to happen. And then I think the coach said it wasn't supposed to go down that way because obviously you want Mike to take the last shot.
Exactly. Even John Paxson said he wasn't supposed to get the ball. Yep. And then when
But it was super dope, dude. Super dope. Damn, you enjoying that drink?
It's good.
Damn,
Just
a
listening.
little moment over there.
Just listening.
I feel you. Yeah, man. It's a really good series. Really good series. The only problem is like everyone knows how it ends. You know what I'm saying? So like once we get to episode 10, like, I feel like we're just gonna be left empty. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, I know how this all ends. Is they're gonna hit us with something that we didn't know?
Yep.
Is he gonna reveal something that like no one knows? You know what I mean? Like, is he gonna have like a special interview about, hey, I like the Nike thing? I didn't even know that he never wanted to go to Nike. I never knew that Nike was like it wasn't his first choice. He didn't want to get on a plane. And now look at it, Nikes are like one of the most popular things. Imagine if he never went to Nike.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I would have been wearing Adidas.
We'd be wearing Adidas right now. Yeah.
And then a lot of people didn't know about him and Isaiah Thomas and the conflict. And
I knew there was some
team.
tension there. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, because even in the earlier episodes, he mentioned some things like, I still like the Pistons. I still hold a grudge to this day, type of deal.
Yeah, they were bullies.
Yeah, they were just.
They're allowed to be bullies, though.
It was a different era, dude.
Yeah. What episode are you up to?
The same one.
6?
6.
What do you feel
I'm all
about
caught up.
the coaching? Like curse.
Coaching curse?
No, the coach, or not the coach, the
General
owner
manager.
was cursed, right?
General manager.
Yeah. What do you feel about him?
He was out for his best interest for himself.
Right?
But that's okay.
They're painting him like.
But that's
yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do? He's got the team is fine by himself. He was he had his own agenda. That's cool. It's not a big deal.
I feel like it's obvious now that Mike and Scotty were very petty when it came to certain what's the word I'm looking for the bigger picture type of thing. You know what I mean? Like he's scouting some guy in Croatia, you know, who's really, really good, like really, really good. And he may be speaking a little too bluntly because he's around players. He's around an environment where everyone just kind of speaks their mind. So he may have spoke a little bluntly in a press conference. saying that he really likes this kid, but like, yeah, you have to plan for your future.
Tony
If you
Kukoc
don't
was a solid player too.
Yeah, but the way they approached it and even showing them approach it, that's not sportsmanlike. You know what I mean? Like, you're complaining about Isaiah Thompson, but you're doing tons of things that aren't like sportsmanlike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're cursing out your buddies. You're win at all costs. You're okay with a playbook that puts the ball in your hand every single time. I don't think it was until they show him as an older player that you really see him start to realize that, oh shit, it's not about me. You know what I mean? Like, even though I've won all these championships and get all this fame, that's not what I'm looking for. And I think he was ready to retire because he had already lived like 10 lifetimes. You know what I mean? Like, he had so many accolades that like why am I going to stay? There's nothing this game can offer me that's worth me killing myself for.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know.
What new series have you guys been watching besides The Last Dance?
My
Documentary,
go-to
whatever.
series, The Last Kingdom. It's about a mercenary warrior that had his royal like crown stolen from him. You know what I mean? It's when the Saxons were, fighting like the Christian religion or something like that. It's old school England, but it's really good. The series is really good. It's called The Last Kingdom.
And what is it on?
Netflix. Yeah, it's really good. What are you watching?
What's new on Netflix?
So much shit.
Well, for
So
you
much
guys.
shit.
I don't know.
Black.
I don't think I've
Black
watched TV
AF.
this week. Nah.
No?
I haven't watched that much
Dude,
TV this week.
Black AF.
I
is
heard
fucking
a couple days ago that's the show,
hilarious,
man.
bro.
I have to make the move, I think, dude.
I don't think I've laughed every single episode in a series since like.
I don't like it.
You tried it?
What?
You gave it a shot?
Not at all.
What? Okay.
Wait,
how many
there's-
episodes did you get?
Wait,
in?
Blackish or Black AF?
Black AF from Blackish, from the makers of Blackish.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
How
like it.
many episodes did you get in before you're like,
Like
I'm done
5?
with this shit?
5.
And it wasn't funny at all? Was it because
Fuck
they
no.
kept doing a cut scene of like, well, back in
It's so
1960?
cheesy. Dude. It's cheesy.
It is cheesy.
See, there
It
you
is
go.
cheesy, but there's humor in it, and you can't deny it.
Is it like, have you guys seen
Yeah.
The Last OG?
Yes.
Is it like that?
Kind of sporadic.
It's
Because
the
there's a lot of flashbacks. In
it's the
Last
Black
OG.
Gentified.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
But it's from the same guy who made Blackish, and I've never seen any of those shows because they were cheesy. Like, I watched it for about 5 minutes, and I'm like, no, this is too cheesy for me. I can't do this. But if you make it through the whole season, at the end of the season, he has a scene with Tyler Perry. And he has a issue that he has to deal with. And he points out his own flaws in the show that you're pointing out right now. He's saying that the black community are liking these films that shouldn't be liked. They're horrible shows and horrible movies, but they're doing it to show support for black shows and black movies. And he saw a movie, there was a black movie, and him and his daughter were like, I'm giving spoilers right now, but him and his daughter were like, that was trash. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on in the world? And everyone they were talking to were saying, no, it was amazing. And it had high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. And he had this issue where he went to Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry was like, I don't fuck with Rotten Tomatoes. You know what I mean? Like, it's all doesn't make sense to me. I make movies for my people, and that's what they want to relate to. That's what they want to see. And that's why I make movies. I don't care about the accolades. I don't care about the Oscars. I don't care about the Grammys. I'm as rich as I am because I'm feeding my people what they want to see. You know what I mean? And he's like, you shouldn't care either. You know, you're caring because you're thinking about it wrong. You feel me? So, like, if you watch it and you're not watching it for, like, the lessons that he's trying to teach, I can 100% see how it's, like, it is super corny. But there's a lot of truth in it. You know what I mean? The parenting is so the parenting is horrible. You know what I mean? Like, the parenting is so real that it's like, as a parent, you relate to a lot of it. You know, you can be mean as fuck to your spouse sometimes. Or you can disagree with your spouse. Or you can seem like you're doing something really, really petty. But at the end of every argument, they always break it down to, okay, well, this is why this happened. You know what I mean? So you really do gain a couple jewels from it. It's not pure entertainment, like it's well written, but it's one of those things where like there's a lesson behind it.
So Blackish first or Black AF
No,
first?
I've never watched an episode of Blackish ever.
Oh, so it's Black
Never.
AF.
It's Black AF.
Oh,
Literally
okay,
Black
okay.
AF.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. Nowadays I don't watch TV just purely for the entertainment anymore. I look too deep into everything. You know what I mean? Like I watched the last Star Wars and I was like, fuck. Like they brought back everyone from the dead. You know what I mean? Like there's cameos everywhere.
Really?
It's almost like
None of them were actually dead, by the way.
yeah, like no. There's a couple that are dead based on the storyline that keep coming back. Like Luke Skywalker died. How's he in the last?
It's just the name. They try to bring back a name and to make it more popular.
He's a ghost. He's like literally a hologram ghost.
But that was
so ridiculous.
ever since the first movie they had it. Like
Yeah.
That's
But
the same
still,
shit.
it's just kind of no. The first movie wasn't dead.
They had a ghost in there.
Becoming.
It is?
Who was the ghost?
Yeah,
in the first
Obi-Wan
one?
Kenobi.
See, there's that shit again.
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a one and done from the first movie, and they kept bringing it back. I don't know.
Listen, we got a couple minutes. What do you
Yeah.
What do you guys want to say? What do you want to say?
You started off.
I'm good. I had all I have.
Yeah,
That's it. I'm
that's
done
it?
for today.
Okay. I want to.
I'm boring.
You're not boring.
You're boring.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Can you show it to the people?
Of course.
Yes. Some of the best advice, like just be humble, man. Just be glad you're alive. Go back to the simple.
Always,
things.
always,
Yes,
always.
Exactly. Not much to say, man. It's been a very interesting week because I feel like I'm halfway in a quarantine situation and I feel like I'm halfway out of it. So like I'm in limbo right now. I don't know which part of my brain to prepare for. Do I prepare to go back into society where everyone's able to go to the bar and the restaurant? Do I get excited for that? Or do I get fearful of what may come, which is another wave of bullshit?
You
know what I mean?
You don't want to
Like,
put your guard down.
I don't want to get too
soon.
excited.
Let's not
Yeah.
speculate because that's not what we're gonna do anymore.
You don't want to put your guard down. You gotta stop, dude. Come on, man. You're doing way too much. You don't want to put your guard down
Yes.
soon
Yes.
or way too soon.
Yes.
Before
Right.
the second wave.
Exactly.
Because honestly, again,
Exactly.
we don't know.
Yeah.
So prepare yourself how you feel necessary.
Yeah. No. I
Wear a
feel it.
mask for 6
Yeah.
months or
I like.
you're gonna
that's
see
why-
those people. They're
so
gonna
I
be wearing
justify
masks
the
next
mask-
year.
I justify the mask by wearing the bandana. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
this is a sign of resistance.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Because let's say something popped off and everyone started protesting. I already got my mask. You dig?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a defiant type thing. Like everyone's buying these nice little society friendly masks and I'm wearing a fucking bandana.
It's
So it's
becoming-
like it makes me feel a little bit better about walking into the store,
Yeah,
wearing a
it's-
mask because I'm applying like I'm following the rules, but I'm also wearing a traditional rebel outfit. You dig?
Yep.
Like this shit goes back all the way to cowboys and Indians.
Yep.
You dig? So like it makes it slightly justifiable for me.
I mean,
So if you're with this, but not with it, get a bandana
yeah.
instead of buying a fancy little mask that goes around your ears.
Well, like
You know
people
what
in Mexico celebrating whatever today is,
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo,
Mhm.
they're already prepared. That's their natural outfit. They got a bandana. They got
Yeah.
I don't know, cowboy hat.
I mean?
They're set.
I wanted to bring something up though about Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked at the map of all the 5G towers,
Mhm.
there's 0 in Mexico.
No, they can't afford it. That's why.
No,
Bill Gates said Bill Gates doesn't want it in
there's
Mexico.
more money in
Why?
Mexico.
Bill Gates doesn't want it in Mexico
Why?
because that's where he lives, dude. Come on.
You're joking.
I'm not joking.
He lives in Mexico?
Yes, he's there now.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you, yeah, he's there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting. But no. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of real money in Mexico. I'm
Oh,
not talking
yeah,
about fake
yeah.
money, real money. I'm reading a fascinating book. It's called The Island of Dr. Jekyll. And it talks about money for what it is. It will make you feel afraid. And it'll make you feel really bad, especially if you have a 401k. It'll definitely make you feel really bad.
Yeah, that's just gonna be taken away
About-
from everybody. By the way,
Bro, it could be taken away overnight just with inflation. Like imagine, inflation right now has been steadily controlled to the point where it's about 100% over or undervalued for our dollar, right? So like something that cost $1 back in 1960 costs $2 now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's 100% pure inflation. But if shit hits the fan, instead of taking 50 years to get to where it is, it's going to take 5.
Mhm.
And all that money you got saved up in your 401k, that 600,000, that 800,000 is going to be worth about 40 grand if you didn't save gold. So bottom line from the book that I'm reading right now, basically buy fucking gold. If you want to invest in something, your future, your retirement, invest in gold. Don't invest in fiat money. Don't invest in fractional banking. Don't invest in money that could like literally be worthless overnight. Invest in fucking gold.
Well, you have to buy gold. You have to buy actual gold or futures in gold.
Yeah. Well, I would actually buy gold.
Okay. Then,
Like chunks, like gold bars?
No,
literally gold.
Bullion.
Like
where?
physical
Like,
gold.
Bro, I need a gold bar. Hook me up. You have a guy?
You can buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy it.
Give me a spot,
anywhere.
like right now.
It's
So
there's brokers online that
you can
will send
just
you
literally buy gold. I would go
you
to
get a testing kit and all that, or it's pretty easy to identify.
No, I honestly, low key, I would start with the pawn shop.
You can.
You know what I mean? I would start with the pawn shop. If you're gonna buy increments of gold,
because they'll melt down whatever. They get
you
in
buy a
and,
tester, go to the pawn shop, buy those necklaces that people left, negotiate because they're buying gold at a reduced price. You feel me?
Not really.
Some of them,
barely, if any. It seriously would be dollars, and that's it. It's not much. Seriously, they probably give you penny to penny on gold and silver.
Okay, I think about it like this: if I bought a bracelet for $5,000 and I went in to pawn it, they're not going to give me $5,000. They're not going to sell it for $5,000. They're going to sell it for $5,000, but they're going to give me like $3,000.
They're going to give you like less
if
than
it's
cost.
Alone.
It's going to be
I'm
less
just
than
saying
cost, right?
To buy gold at the most, cost reduced price. I personally would start at the pawn shop because they probably got it either for face value or lower than, or extremely low than.
If you want something physical, then but if you want to buy gold futures, that's the only thing you can do online.
The only problem I have with that is you don't physically have it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I'm just.
And
saying
then there's some brokers that will sell you gold futures, but some don't give dividends. So you have to invest in ones that give dividends.
I don't want the dividends. Give me the fucking gold.
Because
overnight that gold could be worth. Okay, so let me give you an example. So right now, if you had a gram of gold, it's worth about $55, right? A gram, right? If you had an ounce, it's worth probably about $1,600, something like that. But if overnight the money went up from inflation, that $1,600 could be $3,400 overnight. You feel me? If you had an ounce of gold. So in theory, a person that had $10,000 now really only has $5,000, but if you have gold, you really have $20,000. You did. So it works in reverse.
It could go down too, right?
What, gold? Gold never goes. Gold goes down, but
I'm just saying, like instead of $20,000 worth or whatever, it could go down.
Right. It could go down, but if it goes down, your money's going up still. Your value to dollar is always going to be worth more. You feel me? Yep. So, long story short, the book is basically telling me that since the beginning of time, back when they first started making coins to represent gold being, money, they used to shave coins, make it weigh less or whatever, or still get the value from it. And then the government figured out how to, make fake money or whatever. But gold has always been the standard of value. So if you want to invest in something, literally, if you have $100,000 saved up, take half of that shit and go buy a gold bar or a couple gold bars. You know what I mean? Like just buy gold is what it's saying. And it's a history lesson that dates all the way back to Napoleon,
Yeah.
So
that's like OG currency right there.
OG,
it is.
old rules, OG currency. I'm telling you.
It'll hold up for a while.
Yeah. What's up?
It'll hold up for a while.
Bro, I'm talking about since the 1600s.
Yeah.
Gold has always. And what's amazing is they say not a theory, but they say that gold has held such a standard amount of value over time that you can go back 500 years to purchase something with an ounce of gold, and it would be equivalent to purchasing that same item now today with the same amount of gold. Not cash-wise, but gold-wise. You could take an ounce of gold back in the 1600s and purchase whatever the value was for that item and find that same item now, today. And if you purchased it with gold, it would be very close to what it cost even back in the days. That blew my mind. Yeah.
So never really changed.
Gold never really changes. Yeah. So they manipulate the amount of cash and what it can buy, but you can't manipulate the amount of what gold can buy. Because even if back in the day, let's say you went back to the 40s, cashed out gold. The same thing you can buy with that gold, you could probably buy now in the future because they've manipulated the currency so much. So even though the price goes up, the gold value doesn't go up. You feel me? So if you wanted to buy a boat back in the days, let's say it cost you 16 ounces, right?
Yeah, whatever.
16 ounces or whatever. It'd probably cost you 16 ounces now because that's where the inflation value of the gold has went.
Exactly right.
So how did I get on this rant?
Don't know.
Oh no, currency. Yeah. I don't know.
Currency is fascinating, dude, because it's so fake.
It is fake.
It's incredibly fake. Just the banking system,
we don't know
how it works.
Currency.
Yeah, like all the money that the banks loan you out, they were comparing it to like a poker game. You know what I mean? Let's say that we were all playing poker right now. We put $5,000 in.
Yep.
They're saying basically what the banks did is they took that $15,000, loaned it out as we were playing poker, and hoped that we didn't recognize that it was gone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And hoped that we didn't finish the game in time to ask for our money. And as they were making money off of our money that should never have been lent out because the chips represent the value of the $15,000.
It's like some Ozark shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way fractional banking works it's fucking fascinating. It's fascinating. They're basically stealing money and creating money constant. Like the $2 trillion that we got, it's our own money in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah. But
money that was due to you.
But it's just paper.
It's just paper. It's not. Sometimes it's not even paper. Think about it.
Yeah, no.
For all you guys that got a stimulus check or deposit, did you ever touch that money? How about you just ask the government, you know what, go to keep $1,200. Just send me a gold nugget worth $1,200.
Yeah, right.
They wouldn't send it to you. You know what I mean?
Never.
Think about it. Why wouldn't they just send me a piece of gold worth $1,200?
There's no cash transaction.
Yeah.
It's all
less than an
electronic.
ounce.
So
It's less than an ounce. Just send me some gold. Wouldn't do it.
No thanks. Yeah. Better luck next time.
Yeah. Speaking of next time, let's shut this down.
Oh, the next episode.
Episode 17. Bro, I can't wait to get to 20.
So that's 17 weeks. 20? 17 weeks. That'll be 17 weeks.
Fuck.
So that's 2.5 months, 3. Yeah, 2. Is that right?
4 goes into 17.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's see. 4 times 10 is 40. Half of that is 5.
3 months. 20.
4.5.
4.5 months?
Yeah. Look, you still got to do math. That's what I love about math. People don't check you. You come up with the number and they're like, oh, that's true.
Yep.
And that's it. I just pulled it out of my ass. I have no idea.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Am I?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm no good at math.
Okay.
Like the COVID numbers. We don't know.
Yeah.
Bro, if you look at numerology online, 3, 6, and 9.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Certificate of virus ID.
What?
COVID. Anyways, whatever.
What?
We'll let you think about that for a week, Travis.
I only need 3 days. Yeah. So I take 3. No, literally, everything is a serious topic. I think of it in 3 days. Positive, negative, neutral. You feel me? So that way you can get a full grasp. Because you find what you search for. Let's be honest. Like if you have an idea that something's a certain way, you're going to find everything positive towards what you want to do.
Sure.
But if you look at it in 3 different ways, negative, positive, and neutral, you find out things that contradict the other point of view. And then on that 3rd day, when you look at it neutrally, now you can make an educated decision.
That's a good
you know
point,
what I mean? So, yeah.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it next week.
I feel like I'm in upload, and if
What?
you hit that button, I'm gonna die.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm gonna watch upload.
All right, fuck it.
I'm gonna watch upload.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Is it?
No, it's on Prime.
No, Netflix just got canceled.
It's on Prime.